Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're going to be making the perfect hamburger. Now the most important thing when you're making a hamburger is the type of meat you select. You definitely don't want the stuff in a roll because it has a stringy, chewy texture and it's tough. You want fresh ground chuck. And ground chuck is an 80-20 blend. That means it's 80% lean, 20% fat. If you go with something like regular ground beef, which is a 70-30, you're going to have too much fat in your hamburger, and especially if you're cooking them out on a grill, you're going to have a lot of flame ups and your hamburgers are going to get burned. If you go leaner than that, especially some of the stuff that is over 90% lean, your hamburger is going to be really dry and really crumbly, and it's not going to have a lot of flavor. If they have it on sale, you could maybe go with some of the 85-15 stuff. You still have enough fat that it has some flavor, but the ground chuck is really best, and you do want the fresh ground chuck. The fresher the better. And the second most important thing to make a good hamburger is a good bun. I got these at one of the local grocery stores in the bakery department, and they have all kinds of buns in the bakery department at your local grocery store. You can get a sesame seeds top bun, you can get sweet rolls, just whatever you want. And you want to have plenty of fresh toppings for your hamburgers. Lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, definitely some cheese. And you can do any kind of cheese you want. If you're having a big cookout, you can do a variety of cheese. Have different kinds of cheese for different people. And you can do a little bacon to add to it. Bacon is good on anything. We're going to add a little bacon. You want 1 to 2 strips of bacon per hamburger if you're going to add bacon. Brett definitely wants 2 whole strips on his, and he would eat 6 if I would put it on there, but that's just way too much. He's not getting that much. And you want to make sure you have some condiments to serve with it. Ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise at the least. You could do some spicy mustard or other things like that if you want to. And I just season mine with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and I use some dried chopped onions. And that's for a basic hamburger. Now, this is not stuffed burgers and all that stuff. We may do some of those recipes later. And you don't have to have any special tools, but I do really like a Hamburger Press. And I've had mine so long it definitely needs replaced. I think I've had this thing 20 years. But a Hamburger Press will help your hamburgers get done all the way through. It's also good to help you size them so that you get them big enough and you don't get them too big. And all presses usually have rings or ridges or something, and that's what allows the hamburger to get done in the middle. But I do like a Hamburger Press. You don't have to have it. You can squish them out by hand. Okay, now sizing your hamburger is also important. You want between 6 and 8 ounces of meat. That's 1/3 to 1/2 pound of meat per hamburger. If they're too thin, again, they're going to be dry. They're not going to have enough flavor. And if they're too thick, they're going to be hard to get done. I know some people like their hamburgers rare, but even if a person likes their hamburger rare, if it's too thick, it's not going to be safe in the middle for those people who like them rare. And we like ours well done. So you definitely have to watch the size on them. Sizing is important. Too big, it's never going to get done, and too small, it's going to be dry and you're not going to have that flavor that you want. Now, the size of your bun kind of determines the size of your hamburger, obviously, because you want the meat to cover the bun and you want a proportional amount of meat for the bread. And these are pretty big buns, so I'm going to make these hamburgers about 1/2 pound each. You don't have to go crazy and like weigh out every hamburger patty. This is a 3-pound pack of meat. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half, a long ways down the middle, And then I'm going to open it up so I don't get that saran wrap in there. And I always do mine this way. Now if I wanted to do 1/3 of a pound burgers or 6-ounce burgers, I would do this like that. Cut 4 more sections so that I had 8 hamburgers. But because I'm doing the 1/2 pound, I only want 6 hamburgers out of this. So I'm going to divide this the short way in about thirds. And like I said, you don't need to get crazy and weigh out every single hamburger patty. That's about 1/2 pound each right there. And these are going to be really big. These would be good for a special occasion. This is was supposed to be my Father's Day video, but since I'm filming it on Saturday, I don't think I'm going to get it up by Sunday. Or if I do, it'll go up on Sunday. But I do want to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day. I hope you all get to do something special and spend the day with your kids. When I put these in my Hamburger Press, I kind of mash them out with a butter knife like that. A butter knife is definitely helpful in shaping them. And then you just give it a little press and a twist. Now, when I season them, I season both sides. And I put all of my seasoning on in the house if I'm taking them out and grilling them. I also do this part ahead of time if I'm going to be taking them on a picnic or taking them camping. And then I'll wrap them up and take them. That way you're not trying to remember all the spices. If you're going on a picnic, you've already got them seasoned. You can just take a little salt and pepper with you to go on them when they're done. And you don't have so much to do while you're cooking. And not only that, if you're having a cookout at home and a get-together, you don't want to have to run in the house and get spices while you're trying to cook. You can take these out. You can do them ahead of time and then just pull them out and go out and sit by the grill with everybody else. If you're using garlic powder, you do want to be careful. It's much stronger than garlic salt. You don't want to put a ton of it on your hamburger because it will totally overpower it. And if you have some other spices that you like, you know, add what you like to your hamburgers. Now, what I'm doing here is I put salt, pepper, onion, garlic on one side of the hamburger. And then when I get a layer out on my plate that I'm going to take out to the grill, or if I'm packing them up to take them on a picnic or something, I will add salt and pepper to the other side, and then some dried chopped onions. And you could use fresh onions for this. This saves a lot of time though, and it does give you really good flavor on them. And these dried onions will stick to the hamburger pretty well. You're going to lose some of them when you flip it over. I do them on this side and I stack them up, and then when I put them on the grill, this side will be up. So they cook with those onions sitting on there before you flip them. So the onions stick that way. If you're pressing these out by hand, you know, smishing them in your hands, you don't want to over squish them because that will tend to make them tough. And even if you're using a press, you don't want to overdo it because it will compact your meat so much that it starts to get tough. Now, the salt and the pepper and the onion and the garlic, all that is just a taste. But you do want to keep in mind that you have a 1/2 pound of meat in each one of these. And it is going to take a little bit of spice to season it. So whatever you choose, you know, keep that in mind. And you can be pretty generous with the onion powder because onion powder accents more than overpowers. But be careful with the garlic. Okay, now you're done with all your spices. So when you start cooking them, you don't have to worry about any of that. They're all seasoned. You want to hang on to your salt and your pepper because you're going to need them when you serve your hamburgers to go on your toppings, or for Brett to salt his hamburger again. And I know all of you, if you have a big get together, you're going to have somebody who likes a lot of salt. So make sure you have salt and pepper to go with them when you serve them. Now you can cook these in your oven on a rack or a slotted broiler pan on about 450. How long will depend on how thick you make them. You can cook them in a frying pan on your stove. You can cook them in an air fryer or air oven. You are going to have quite a bit of grease from them, so keep that in mind. If you're cooking them in a smaller appliance, you want to make sure you have something to catch that. We could pack these up and take them on a picnic. We could take them camping. You can cook them on a wood fire, a charcoal fire, or a gas grill. Charcoal and wood, of course, will give you more flavor. I have a gas grill at home for convenience, so I'm going to take these out to the gas grill and cook them. Now, I'm going to toast some of my buns, and some of them I am not, because not everybody likes a toasted bun. I know it's crazy, but there's all kind of people in this world. So I either ask how many people want a toasted bun, or I will only toast part of them. I did put some butter on a couple of them. You don't really have to do that. You can just put your bun on the grill and toast it, or in the oven or whatever, but the butter does make a better bun. So let's pack these up and head out to the grill. Okay, when you come out to your grill, you want to make sure you preheat your grill first. You don't want to start hamburgers on a cold grill. And then you just set them on there, spaced out pretty even. If you grill on a regular basis, you'll learn where the hot spots and the cold spots are on your grill. My grill is colder in the back and warmer in the front, but every grill is different. And the other thing you want before you come out to your grill is you want to make sure you got a spatula, metal, so it doesn't melt. Either a big grill spatula, or this is just a cheapy one, but you got to have a metal spatula, and you really don't want any plastic on it because you don't want it melting. Don't lay it so close to the grill that it gets hot, though, if you have a big flame up. And the other thing you need when you come out to your grill is a clean plate, because when you take these off, you don't want to sit them back on the plate that had the raw hamburger on it. You'll get cross-contamination with your cooked hamburgers and your raw meat. If you're doing some bacon to go on them, you want to make sure you put it on a pan or on some heavy-duty aluminum foil or something, and don't sit it right down on the heat. But make sure you have something under it, because if you just put bacon on your grill, all the grease is going to drip down on the flame. You're going to have a massive flame up, and you're just going to have burned bacon. So once you get your hamburgers on your grill, just close the lid and let them cook for a while. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on flame ups. It's a good idea to have some water around the grill, because if you do have a really big flame up, you just put it out with plain water. I've been cooking my hamburgers on really low heat because these are thick. They are half-pound hamburgers, and like I said, we like ours well done. We don't like any pink at all in the middle, and I don't want to burn them up. If you're using charcoal and you like a hamburger that's a half-pound and you want it really thick, you need to move your grill up above your charcoal quite a bit, or they will get burned before they get done. So I'm going to go ahead and flip them now. And these in the front are definitely brown, and they're ready to flip. The back ones might not. They're not as brown because, like I said, the back of my grill is cooler than the front. So if I'm making them for a lot of people, I'll either rotate them or I'll leave the ones on the back of the grill on the back of the grill. That way I have some that aren't well done, so that I have some for those people who like their hamburger a little rare. They all look pretty good though. They're all definitely ready to flip, and they're all brown. And you do want to pretty much wait until they're ready to flip. That gives those onions time to, the flavor to kind of soak into the top of the hamburger. And it also holds that juice in. If you have to flip them more than once to get them done, like if you flip them too soon, it's not the end of the world. But the more you flip a hamburger when you're grilling it, the drier it gets. So try to wait to flip them until they are ready to flip and until they're a little bit more than half done. Because now that we've flipped them, this side is going to cook faster than the first side because the meat is hot already. So I'm just going to close my grill and leave them for a while longer. I've probably had these in here almost 20 minutes, but you've got to keep in mind they're a ½ pound each, so it's going to take some time to cook them. Okay, my hamburgers have been cooking for a little over half an hour now, maybe 35-40 minutes, I don't know, and they're done just about perfect. So I'm just going to kind of slide them all over and slide my bacon over, because I gotta make room to get my buns on here and toast them. Okay, some of my buns are getting done. Some of them still have a ways to go. Like the butter buns, you can see how pretty that is. A lot of times if you don't have butter on them, they're not going to get super brown, but they are really toasty and you'll have that flavor. And Brett likes his buns toasted because it helps keep the hamburger from being so messy. Like if you're topping it with lettuce and tomato and stuff, if you toast it, then the bread will soak up more of that stuff without getting soggy. And he hates soggy bread on his sandwiches, whether it's a hamburger or anything else. That's probably good. Like I said, it's not real brown. You can see it's starting to brown there a little bit. But without the butter, a lot of times they don't get super brown. If you keep cooking them, they'll completely dry out, and you don't want that either. You do want to try to make your bun halves back up because people don't really like mismatched buns. Now you can put your cheese on the grill and melt it, but you're serving these so hot that the cheese will melt if you just put the hamburgers out, serve them, and let everybody put what they want on them, because not everybody likes cheese, just like not everybody likes a toasted bun. So I just sit them all out and let everybody put what they want on it. If for some reason somebody takes a couple minutes to get to the table and their cheese isn't melted, you can always put it back on the grill for a second. But the grill is so hot and the hamburgers are so hot, if you put cheese on it while it's on the grill, it's all going to run off and run down in the grill. If you have a lot of hamburgers and a lot of people coming over and you want to keep part of the food warm because some people might want to come back for seconds, you can leave some of the hamburgers and stuff on your grill and just leave it one burner turned on warm, and that will keep everything warm. It'll keep bugs off of it and it'll keep it from spoiling. Okay, now if you're serving these to a lot of people, you're having a big cookout, everything can be done ahead of time except for grilling your hamburgers. You can get them pressed out, you can get them seasoned, make some potato salad and coleslaw to go with them if you have time. Those are great options to make it a more filling meal and a more special meal. If you don't have time to do that, you can just serve these with different kinds of potato chips or other chips like that. But I set everything out, all of my toppings, all of my condiments, salt and pepper, and let everybody dress their own hamburger, because everybody likes their hamburger a little bit different. Here's something that is really important with a good hamburger. Your bun to meat ratio. You want to make sure that you can see the hamburger around the bun. You don't want to have a little bitty piece of meat in a great big bun. That's one of the keys to making a hamburger that is going to be something that people will remember and that will be a delicious meal, something worth eating. But that is an absolutely beautiful hamburger. It's perfect for any summer get-together or cookout. Everybody loves a good hamburger. So give these a try, and remember the tips, because like I said, there are a few tricks to making a really, really good hamburger. And I know everybody has their own favorite spices or their own favorite bun, and that's fine. Put your own favorites on it. Make it your hamburger. We really appreciate you joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. Don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. And until next time, remember to put God first.